Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, I'll just share my screen. I just have like a little presentation. So,
okay.
So, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen very clearly.
Okay. I just start with a brief introduction of who I am. So, my name is Amarachi Ezeoke. I'm from Enugu State in Nigeria. So, I'll be making just a little presentation on how to submit a successful DAAD application. I'm one of the DAAD alumni. So I was once a scholar from 2019 to 2021. So you'll be wondering, okay, yeah, what's DAAD? So DAAD, this is the meaning of DAAD. DAAD is called Deutsche Akademische, Auslandsdienst. Forget about the German name, sorry. So it means German Academic Exchange Services. So it covers postgraduate courses for young professionals from developing countries. And also for the master's program, it covers a period of 12 to 24 months, depending on the university. Whereas for PhD, it's about 42 months. And also this includes German universities and also universities of applied sciences in Germany. And they also have a privilege that you can learn German courses. So it's more like a scholarship for you to learn German language. So but the most of the DAAD programs are in English. So just a few of them are in German. And this DAAD it's funded by this BMZ, the Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development in Germany. What do you require for a successful application for DAAD scholarship? So the first one, you need a personal signed DAAD application form, which can be gotten from the DAAD portal. So you go to the DAAD portal, you see the application form, then you have to fill it. And this application form, you have to fill like the courses you're applying for, and you are entitled to apply for at least 2 courses. Then you also have this personal signed Europass CV. So I have to highlight this Europass CV. This is very, very important. You don't just use any CV to apply for DAAD application. Then you also have the personal signed letter of motivation. So this is more like a key element while applying for not just for DAAD scholarship, for so many other scholarships. This letter of motivation is very, very important. Of course, it's more like a sales speech. I normally call it a sales speech. So it tells the people who you are, why they should consider you, why do they think you are the person, like, why do they think you are fit for this scholarship? So you are not there to explain who you are. You're not there to explain maybe your career or your dream course or why you want to study that course. So everything we have to be tailored in this letter of motivation. So if you write a very good letter of motivation, the person reading it should be able to understand who you are. The person reading it should be able to understand your interest, why you're applying for this scholarship. And also, while writing this letter of motivation, you need to make reference to your current occupation and also your choice of postgraduate program. So you need to tell them, okay, why what you are doing currently and how is your current occupation related to your postgraduate program. Because normally there should be a link. You don't just wake up and maybe you are in a social science course and you want to apply for a DAAD scholarship in an engineering course. So you can see that sometimes there is no, it doesn't fit in, there is no match. So these are things you have to put into consideration while choosing a course that you want to apply for, and also while writing your motivation letter. And for this motivation letter, they usually tell you to put it in maximum of 2 pages. So it shouldn't be more than 2 pages and it shouldn't be so small. So you should make it like a maximum of 2 pages. You should be able to express who you are, maybe you're on, because it's a postgraduate study, so you should be able to talk about your academic background. You should be able to talk about your soft skills. You should be able to talk about your career, like your occupation, your job experience, and also you should be able to tell them what you intend to gain from this scholarship. Then you also need a letter of recommendation from your current employer. So sometimes they will ask you to get a letter of recommendation from your employer and also from your academic supervisor. So you can get one, from your academic supervisor, then you also get another one from your employer. Then you need a certificate of employment from the employer. So normally they say the minimum that they actually require is 2 years work experience. But sometimes you can be lucky. You might be lucky not to have up to 2 years experience if you're able to convince them. So there are some situations where you can get more than 2 years and below 2 years experience, and you'll be given the scholarship. But normally the standard is 2 years experience. Then you need a proof of English language. So sometimes this proof of English language, it's very let's say it depends on your university. So there are some universities that we kind of make it compulsory that you must write this a proficiency exam like the IELTS, the TOEFL. Whereas there are some that just require that you can just get like any proof of English language. So it could be from your university, it could be from your university, just a proof that you studied or you had your undergraduate in English language. So some schools actually accept that. Whereas for some schools, you have to write this IELTS, this proficiency exam, and the minimum you need to get is at least a band 6.5. Though it differs with university. So some university will tell you they need at least a band 7, some might say band 7.5, but the least you can get is a 6.5. Then you need copies of your academic degree, or all your certificates that you have. Then also you need a copy of your academic transcript. So these are the key things that you require to apply for a DAAD application, a DAAD scholarship. Though there might be some additional requirements, but these are dependent on the university. So some university will ask you to provide more requirement than this, but this is more like the standard that's all the university require. And also for this DAAD application, how it works, it works together with the university you're applying to. So it's not it's not independent with your with the university. So you have to submit. Most time they'll tell you to submit your application to your school, but when you provide all these required documents, they actually know you are submitting an application for a DAAD scholarship. So when you submit it to the university are the one who go through it together with DAAD officials. So each school has maybe or each region has more like a DAAD person or a DAAD coordinator. So they are the ones that sit together and make the first selection. So once they select you, so that's why I said it doesn't work independent with the school, it works together with the school. So if you get the DAAD admission and scholarship, you automatically get an admission into that school. So that's how it works. So now what you need to do is, once after the first selection, they invite you for after the first selection, they invite some people, maybe the qualified people, for the first interview. So this interview, it's more like, it's normally a Zoom or a Skype interview. It's the virtual interview, yeah. So there they'll ask you some questions. So this depends. They will ask you some questions about your background. Like you need to tell them who you are. This is where you explain who you are, like almost everything in your motivational letter. So you have to tell them who you are, why you're applying for the scholarship, and what do you tend to gain from the scholarship, and also what are your experiences. So how do you think your experience fit into this postgraduate program you're actually applying for? So this is for the first interview. Then after that interview, what happens is they make the final selection. So once you have been selected for this scholarship, you're going to send you an email telling you that you've been selected, and also the award letter and every other thing that comes with it. So most times it starts in September, and with, like I said, it comes with this this scholarship for you to learn a German course. So sometimes they can tell you to resume in August. So from August to maybe like September, October, you are learning a German language course, and this is being sponsored by the DAAD, the DAAD body. So this is how it actually works. So for you to submit a successful DAAD application, so you need to put into consideration all these requirements and make sure that you write them very well. Like, you don't just wake up and draft something and just submit. No, remember, it's very, very competitive. You're competing with almost all developing countries. So they can't just, they might just be picking maybe 1 or 2 people from each region. So you have to be very, whenever you're writing, whenever you're trying to write, especially your letter of motivation, this is where I lay much emphasis on, because this tells them who you are. This actually explains. So you have to write it passionately, so that whenever the person is reading it, the person can understand who you are. So I think these are just the key requirements. So if you're able to compile this and write it and make it a very good application, then you might be lucky. So there is no, but nobody can tell you, yeah, I'm very sure that if I tell you how to do it, you must get the scholarship. No, I can't tell you that it's certain that you will get the scholarship. No, the only thing I can, or people can actually help, is to assist you on the process, to assist you on the requirements, and also how to go about your application. So, and also, like, there is this this EPOS, it's called DAAD EPOS brochure. So where you can go and download this brochure. You can go and download this DAAD brochure. So with that brochure, you can see all the courses that have been offered or been sponsored by DAAD. So you can see the course, and also you can see how to make the application. So each school have its own application process. So it's not the same for all the university. So each university have their own way of going about their application. So maybe before the end of this meeting, I can just drop a link on where you can just go and download the DAAD EPOS brochure for 2023 academic section. So you can have a look at it and see, okay, maybe if you have the requirements, and also what the school requires, and also the deadline too. So you also have to try to meet up the deadline while going about your application. Yeah, thank you for listening. Yeah, I don't know if you have any questions, you can just ask.
Yeah. I think one has already been dropped on the.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think one has already been dropped on the comment, so we can start off with that.
Okay, I'm just trying to read the. Okay, I'll start with the first question. So the person is asking, why is the German scholarship asking for a proof of English? Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a bit crazy, but it is what it is. That's just it. It's one of their requirements, because most of these courses are being taught in English and not German. So unless you decide to choose the one that is being taught in German, then you can, but most of the courses are actually in English. So they need a proof that you understand, can comprehend, can read, and can write in English. And also, usually people shy away from applying to non-English. Yes, it's actually a very big criteria. It's actually a very big, not criteria, it's actually a very big problem why applying to non-English speaking country. For example, I'm sure that almost all of us here are from Nigeria, and also we speak English. So it's actually a very difficult thing going to a English-speaking country. So you have to learn your language. And that is why they organize these German language courses for the first few months that you have to be there, just for you to learn and be able to express yourself with the common, like the common basis, the common daily living. So you can be able to live, speak, associate. Maybe if you want to go to the supermarket to buy something, you can be able to ask what you want. So this is why they make it a bit compulsory. It's actually compulsory that you must learn this German language. But once you get this DAAD scholarship, so it's more like it's part of the scholarship, so you have to learn it. So it's actually difficult going to non-English speaking countries. I feel like with time you get to adapt. You can still say you can still get the community where they speak English. Then, but I would advise if you're going to a non-English speaking country, try to learn the language, whether before you go there or while you are there, because it's gonna help you a lot. Maybe after school, career-wise, trying to find a job. So it's difficult if you don't know how to speak German. For example, in Germany, it is very difficult for you to get a job or get maybe into a very fitting career if you don't know how to speak German. But people, like, there is always an exception. So it works for some people. So you might be among the lucky ones that get job or an opportunity without this German language. But I would advise if you're going to Germany, just try to learn German. It's going to help you very much. Did you take classes in German language? No, my classes were in English language. So yeah, I think that's just it for now.
Okay, I think there's another question, but Chisom, I think that question should come at the end so that we can focus on the DAAD scholarship for now. So I have some questions compiled on behalf of the community members. So the first one is, does the DAAD scholarship support people who have a third class or a 2-2?
I don't think it's actually a problem because in the requirements, okay, this is actually dependent on the school. It's actually dependent on the school. So there are some universities that don't specify the grade they need. Why there are some universities that specify, okay, we need at least a 2-1. So the DAAD scholarship work, like I said initially, they work in collaboration with the university. So whatever the university wants, they add it to what they want. So it depends on the university, and so you have to look at the requirement. If the university doesn't specify that they need a third class or a first class or a second class person, then I think you can apply for it.
Okay. Thank you very much for that clarification. I'm sure a lot of people will be happy to hear that. So the second one is about the certificate of employment. Sorry, is it possible you can stop sharing your screen so that we can see, please?
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So I was like, the certificate of employment that you talked about, what kind of format should it be in? Is it like the letter of employment that shows that you are employed, or is there like a special format just in case someone here is looking to apply for the DAAD scholarship?
Okay. Oh yeah, it's just a letter of employment. It's enough.
Okay, letter of employment is enough.
Yes, so you need to back it up with, if you're still working with the same company, so you need to back it up with a recommendation letter from that company saying that you are still working with them.
Okay, how about if you are working, like you're self-employed, like you're working for yourself, what then happens?
Yeah, you can write a recommendation letter. You can look for, maybe you can write a recommendation letter for yourself.
Yeah.
So maybe you can look for your colleague. Maybe, I don't know. If you are the boss, you can look for maybe like a manager or something like that to write a recommendation letter. So you can write, you can apply even if you're working for yourself.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. I think that's a very useful thing to know. Then you mentioned something about the Europass CV, and I was just wondering what makes a strong Europass CV? I'm sure that a lot of people here have probably never heard of it. I've personally heard of it because I know that I think this was the application, Erasmus sometimes also requires a Europass CV. So when I tried to apply sometime in the past, I tried to create one. But what really makes one a very strong CV? Is it just the grade, or is it like work experience and maybe trainings? Maybe from your own experience, can you tell us what makes up a strong Europass CV?
Yeah, for Europass CV, I think Europass CV is one CV that I've seen that is very, very explanatory. It goes straight to the point. It tells you what you need to put. So for your work experience, you have to explain what you did, your work experience. So if you're writing that, hey, I worked in this company, you write, you should be able to explain to them, this is what you did in that company. It should be clear and it should be concise. And also, if you have maybe like any award, any certification, any publication, you're part of any society like others, maybe graduate societies or like other society, maybe like bodies, maybe Association of Engineering, Association of Medical Students, or something like that. So you should be able to put in everything you have. Just dump everything you have for them in the CV. But let it not be too much. Let it just be concise. So and I think that's why they chose this Europass CV, because the format is almost the same. It's almost the same. So you can be able to say, okay, they need you to fill in this, and it tells you what they actually require. So make sure you just put in everything.
Okay, I see. And of course, do you have to also indicate your English proficiency in the Europass CV?
Yes. In the Europass CV, like I said, it's very, very explanatory. So for the Europass CV, you can even see it there. It's written there. I don't know, I can just check if I have like a copy of a sample of this Europass CV. I can just show you how this Europass CV look like. Just a minute.
All right, sure.
Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we
Okay,
can
yeah.
see your screen.
So this is like a sample of the Europass CV. You can see it's more like, it tells you what they need. So you have to put in your address, telephone number, email address. Here, the job applied for, you can replace it with more like a short statement about you, like a career statement. It's written here. And for studies applied for personal statements. So you can just include just a short personal statement. Then you have to put in your work experience, your educational trainings, your personal skill, your mother language, other languages if you have it. So this is a place where you can put in English language. Then it also asks you for your communication skills, your organization and managerial skills, job-related skills, digital skills. Yeah, so these are the things you need to put in. So this is a copy. There are so many Europass CV that you can find out there. But this is just one of them. more like a sample of how it looks like.
Okay, thank you very much for that. I'm sure that a lot of people that haven't seen one have now seen one.
Mhm.
Okay, so the next question I have here is, are the majority of the masters that the DAAD scholarship covers, are they 2 years? Or is it just like a few of them that are 2 years?
Majority of them are 2 years, but some are 12 months, some are 18 months, but the majority of them are 2 years.
Okay, okay. So what type of, are there like specific courses that the DAAD scholarship covers, or is it like general? Maybe does a DAAD scholarship have a specific focus for maybe development related courses or something like that?
It covers a lot. It covers a lot. It covers, like, you have the economics field, the science, the mathematics, engineering, agriculture, health, art. So it covers a lot. So that's why I said if you can just type it here. It's called DAAD EPOS. This is what they call it. So if you go online, you can Google DAAD EPOS brochure. So you get the brochure. The brochure shows you all the courses that have been offered by DAAD. I would have shown one of the brochures. I don't know. I can just for it. So you can see the courses they offer.
Okay, all the courses are written out on the brochure.
Yes, yes. So if you just, like I just said, if you just go online, search for DAAD EPOS brochure. So it's like a brochure that comprises of all the courses that are being offered by DAAD in Germany. So, but one clarification is like this DAAD, it's not just in Germany. They also have in-region DAAD. They also have like what we call in-region DAAD application, in-region DAAD scholarship. So for that one, you can, I think there's one in Ghana. I think there's one, is it in Nigeria or something like that? So you can actually look out for other DAAD. DAAD is like a very big scholarship body, but the biggest of them, it's this EPOS brochure, EPOS, DAAD EPOS. It covers a lot from the developing countries. So just go online, Google DAAD EPOS brochure, maybe for 20, I think it should be 2023, 2024 academics. Once you get the brochure, you can see the courses, and also you can see the school that is offering that particular course you want to apply. So you cannot just choose a school. Like you cannot just maybe just decide on the school you want to go to. No. So you have to look at the brochure and you make your decision from that brochure. So whatever school, for example, if I want to offer health, for example, medicine or like any public health related course, and the university that is offering it is maybe University of Berlin, I cannot just choose maybe University of Hanover, that I want to do it in University of Hanover. No, you have to stick with that University of Berlin that is being in that brochure. So the brochure tells you the school and also the course, school offering each courses that are being covered by DAAD.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. So I think the next question I have here relates to your PhD journey. So I know that you said you transitioned after doing your master's for 2 years, and then you then got a PhD and moved to Canada. So can you maybe tell us what your journey was like? Was it very cold in Germany or stressful? And then what were the things you think you did differently that allowed you to be able to transition from a master's fully funded to a sponsored PhD as well?
Okay, it wasn't really so easy. I wouldn't say it was easy. It wasn't easy. But just because I wanted to change environment, and two, my German was not so good. I have to be, yeah, I have to be honest. So my German was not so good to live in Germany. These are it's one of the criteria I had, and because I wanted to change, I wanted to try out other countries and see what is there and what they have there. So I tried to apply for an application. I have to send in application in Canada. Yes, it's I think it's more easier to get how do I put it, a funding for a PhD than to get for a master's. That is what people don't actually know, because there are so many fundings out there for PhD programs. There are a lot of fundings out there for PhD programs. It's all about being equipped with the right resource, and also how to go about your search. So you need to write to some professors. Like for example, one of the professors I got here in Germany, probably the university I have here, it wasn't an advertised position. It was a cold email. I just wrote to the professor that I want to work with her. So I sent in all my documents, my transcript, like all the documents I have. So she picked interest and said, okay, yeah, that she wants to work with me. She has funding, better stuff. I should go ahead and apply to the university, which I did. So you can actually try by writing cold emails. I think cold emails, it really works. It works a lot. So the only thing there is just how you structure your cold email. Don't just go and write to the professor and say, hey, tell them like why you want to work with them in the cold email. The cold email, I feel, is what attracts them to open your document. If your cold email is not so attractive, I'm sure they wouldn't open your document. And most of these professors set their email that most times when you send those email, it goes to their spam folder. That's how most of them set their email. So that's why most time you send so many professors application and none of them is responding. You think that maybe they're saying it and they're not responding. Some of them don't even say it. It goes direct to their spam folder. So sometimes you just have to try and write a very good, just a short mail. Why sending it a mail to the professor? Make sure you write something about yourself and also your experience. So if you're applying for maybe a lab, maybe you want to do like your research in a lab, you should tell them, like you should be able to explain that you've worked in a lab before and these are the experience you have. So this person will know that, okay, oh, you've worked in a lab and okay, yeah, it's so interesting to work with you. And you should also tell them what you're able to achieve during your, maybe it could be undergraduate, it could be your master's. So you should be able to tell them what you're able to achieve. And that is like your project. So what's your project? What is it going to add to the academic field? Because this is what they actually look out for. They want to know, okay, yeah, this person is able to contribute to the academic field. Okay, yeah, he or she might be a very good fit for me. So that's what I can say. It wasn't so difficult for me to move. It wasn't so difficult for me. And also because of some personal decision. So that was why I had to choose Canada. So that was why I wanted to move. I think it wasn't so much of a difficult. So the only thing I can tell people is look out for opportunities like adverts. And there is this website I know. I'm going to say because yeah, I'm in the agric field, so maybe it could benefit those in the agriculture or in the biological science field. So there is this person, or like a Twitter, it's called AgriStock. So he's able to, if you follow the page, they always publish or they always advertise opportunities for most of the biological sciences. And also if you have LinkedIn, I think LinkedIn is a very powerful, I would call it a social media, yeah. It's also a very powerful social media platform where you can actually reach out to professors. You can actually see some opportunities there. And also you should try, it takes a lot of time, but you can try to Google so many schools, look out for professors and the professors offering the course or teaching the course that you want to apply to. Then you can actually write to as many professors as you can. One thing there is that you're going to get so many rejection emails. It should never discourage you. You will get so many rejection emails. It should never discourage you. So it's a more of, okay, yeah, maybe I need to work harder. Maybe I need to add one or two things. Maybe I need to improve my letter of motivation and other stuff. And also sometimes always ask, if you get a rejection email, or maybe you apply for an interview Sometimes after the interview doesn't work, sometimes try to ask them the reason. Maybe you can improve. And you ask them, like, hey, where do you think I didn't do well during the interview? For the next section you're going to apply, you can improve. And another thing I have to say is, while going about your application, it's more like a seasonal stuff. If you're applying for a funded PhD, I don't see, like, I wouldn't advise somebody to apply for a funded PhD or master's, apart from scholarship. Maybe you're looking for like funding. So if you're applying for like funding, a funded MSc or PhD program, there are this time frame you need to apply for it. So for example, if you want to apply for fall next semester, most of the funding comes in fall. So if you want to apply for fall next semester, I think this is the time you need to apply for it. So you need to start your application between September and late one should be January, because that's when most of the application closes. Because you still need to apply to the university. So you should be preparing your application or your documents now. So that's how it works. Yeah.
Okay, so would you say that you had to write GRE for the position, because you said it's agriculture, that's science, if I'm not mistaken. So did you have to write GRE?
You mean for my PhD?
Yes, for your PhD.
Oh, no, it doesn't require me. And some of the Canadian universities don't even require proof of English. Just a letter from a university, it's already approved. It's a no. It's a no, because I know I got one in Alberta. So when I applied in Alberta didn't require. I think almost all Nigerian universities were exempted from writing a proficiency. So if you're looking to, maybe you want to apply for program in maybe Canada, you can look out for University of Alberta, University of Manitoba, and there are a couple of them. So these two, I'm sure they don't require English for most of the Nigerian universities.
Okay. So would you say that someone applying for the PhD has had to do a master's that is research-based, or can you do a thought master's and then apply for a PhD? Is that possible?
I'd say it's possible, but it's a bit tricky. It's possible, but yeah, it's a bit tricky, because most of if you're applying for a research-based PhD, they ask you for your experience. They want to know like whether you have an experience as working as a researcher, especially if it has to do with research. But if you're applying for maybe like I would use, for example, social sciences that don't require that you have to carry out maybe like a lab work. It's more like a theoretical research that you have to do. So I think a thought-based master's would also get you a PhD. So it all depends. It all depends on what they want. It all depends on what you're supervised. But you can actually give me. I believe in always giving a trial. No, the worst I can get is a no. That's having my philosophy. The worst I can get is a no, but I will always keep trying.
Yeah, that's very important to say. They just put it in. You don't know whether it's going to work or not, but you just go ahead and try. So would you say that the master's you did before you applied for your PhD, the first thing is, was it a research master's, and did you have like publications, or was it the fact that you worked in the lab that you think made the difference in your application?
Yeah, I would actually say I didn't have any publication. So you can actually apply for a PhD without any publication. So I don't have any publication yet.
Okay.
Yes. And for my master's, it was a research-based.
Okay.
Yes, it was a research-based master. And also, I think there was a time I had a conversation with my supervisor. Like, I was just trying to know, hey, why did you pick me? Like, I didn't just go straight to the point. It was like a little chat. And she said, before she responded to me, she said, I contacted your supervisors, your referees, and they said wonderful things about it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I would say your referee, in the academic field, it's more like it's a very important person. It's a very important person in your progress. I don't know whether people neglect, don't just go and choose somebody for your recommendation for your referee. No, choose somebody that know you and willing to write good things about you. So if you want to remain in the academic field, I would suggest have at least one referee, one academic referee. It really helped. That was what my supervisor said. She said, what was the first thing she said? And before she said, and that was how she piqued interest. So I believe it's one of the things that actually maybe how do I put it? That piqued her about me, something like that. So maybe she might have other requirements, other things she had to put into consideration, and also how you arrange your documents. It's really so good. And like I said, I know I applied for a couple of scholarship and like fundings, and some of them keep sending me a feedback of, oh, I love your CV, I love your motivation letter. And these are the things that it motivates you to keep doing, to keep applying. But they might say, hey, I don't have a funding. It's okay. But at least you can see that, okay, yeah, your motivation letter, your CV is a bit up to standard, that if this person had a funding, he or she might have considered you. So that's why I said it's very important the way you submit your application. It says a lot about you. Try to organize it. Your organizational skills matters a lot. And also while writing your motivational personal statement, let it flow. Let it flow. Don't just maybe you're talking about academic field, all of a sudden you're jumping to maybe career. From career again, you come back to maybe undergraduate. No, it should be like maybe this paragraph, I'm talking about everything about my academic field. Maybe the next paragraph, it should be in paragraph, so that when this person reads about this paragraph, this person should know that, okay, hey, I'm talking about, this person is talking about the academic background. Then the next one, you should try to connect your academic background with the next one that follows it. So if it's going to be like your work experience, you should be able to connect your academic background with your work experience. So the next one should, and also try to involve like a soft skills. These soft skills, they're very important. So maybe after that, you can include like your soft skill, maybe your leadership abilities, maybe you learned some, you can be able to do some coding, some analysis, some data analysis, some like other things that might not actually be related to your course or to your academic background or to your career experience, but something that you know that it's very relevant, maybe relevant to you one time in the future or during your research work. So these are the things you have to put into consideration. Then after that, you can talk about something else. So this is like, just let your motivation letter flow. Likewise, if you're writing a mail to your supervisor requesting for a funding or for a funding, always try to make the mail not so short, but it can be short, and also try to pass all your message there. Just write everything about and let it flow. Maybe from I finished as an undergraduate, then I went for a master's. During my master's, I was able to maybe get this research experience into so like, then I also have this work experience where I worked at something as so. So these are the things you also have to put into consideration. And also, like I said, this DAAD, like I'm just gonna say one thing about this DAAD. I think DAAD is a very, very important scholarship. It's a very good scholarship because it provides you with a lot of opportunities. And if you do well, it can also provide you with maybe good opportunities. Like for me, I was opportuned to work in the UN, which I know on a normal day it might not be so easy for me to get into UN, the way the whole system is. So sometimes it creates more opportunities for you, and you can see, like, when you get something, like when, for example, working in UN, it also adds to your portfolio. I've worked with an international organization of that kind of you've worked in such international organization. So I think it's very good. It's a very good scholarship, I would say.
It was just in the course of your speaking that you now told us that you work with the UN. We did not know that one before. We actually didn't know that one before. I don't know whether you're indirectly telling us that if we don't work for the UN, that we will not be selected. But I hope that's not what you're saying. I hope that's not what you're saying.
No, I was just trying to talk about the opportunities you can get. So Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
someone was asking earlier in the chat whether you were saying that we must learn how to speak German before we are able to apply for the DAAD scholarship. I think that was Maureen.
Is where is no, no, you don't need to learn German. You don't need to know German before you apply for DAAD scholarship. It's not a criteria. You
Okay,
can just you learn it at the course, like during your program.
okay, okay. And is it like part of your grading criteria? People that are not good at language, what will happen to them?
No, it's not part of the grading criteria. No. It's just an additional scholarship for you. Let me call it that. Because it's been paid for, they pay for it, but it's
Oh,
in German.
oh wow, that's very good. Who knows? Maybe somebody would now have three languages: Igbo, English, and German.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what would you say was like some of the things apart from your professional experiences in Germany? What would you say were some of the things that were the key highlights of the scholarship?
Like in what aspect? Sorry.
Like in the people that you met, the
Mhm.
environment, the teaching, the education standard. Can you comment
Okay.
on that?
Yeah, I think in terms of research, I think German has a very good standard research and also teaching. So it's an environment that you can approach your supervisor, you can approach your lecturers anytime. Maybe if you feel like, hey, you did so well and you weren't graded according to what you should get, you can approach the lecturer. Say, okay, hey, why did I fail this? Hey, like you can just query whatever your mark is. And also in terms of teaching, I think they have a very good standard because most of the teachings, some of them they have like like a lab work or experiment. So it's not just a classwork, something that you have to see, they teach you, then you also have to experience it yourself. And also you can be opportunity to go for internship. So maybe any company, you can organize that with your university. Sometimes it's not so difficult, especially for DAAD scholarship. That is if your program allows you to do an internship. So you can actually ask the supervisor to help you organize an internship. You want to go for an internship, it's easier. And also the people, yes, German people, they are nice, but they can be a bit cold. So you don't expect to see like a vibrant society like the way we have in Nigeria. No. So these are some of the cultural shock we might experience in Germany. So they are not like this friendly kind of. They are friendly, but they are not this kind of maybe like coming to you for a chit chat or something like that. No. So, but if you approach them, they can speak with you. They can talk with you. So that's why I say like it's very important you learn German, just the basics, because most time they tell you, hey, I don't speak English. They are very used to that. This is one of the challenges you're going to experience. Like almost everybody in Germany doesn't know how to speak English, and they say it's in English. That's the funny part of it. They reply you in English. So sometimes it's a really big confuse. Like you're asking somebody something, they say, "Oh no, my English is not good. I can't speak English." I'm like, "Okay, what are you speaking?" So it's funny, but sometimes it's not funny. So, but I think it's really a very good environment. I really enjoyed my stay in Germany. That's what I can say. I enjoyed my experience, my lab people, my classmates, my co-DAD DAD scholars. So it's really, and they also organize they have this events that almost all the whole DAD come together. And it's always been sponsored by the transport, the accommodation, the feeding, they organize everything just for you to meet DAD from other countries, other universities, and yeah. And you can also have a chit chat with the DAD officials, the organizers. So in a nutshell, I would say it's really a good scholarship. The environment was really nice. The teaching, the research, it really exposed me a lot. I really learned a lot. So it's a place that I would advise somebody to go.
Okay, well, can you comment on the cold, the weather?
Oh yeah, it's cold. So so the weather it's very bit depressing. It's very bit depressing. Like when winter comes, it gets so dark easily. I mean, like 4, 5 o'clock, everywhere's so dark. You're like, okay, what should I do now? And during winter, you barely see people outside. Barely see people outside. So everybody's just rushing home to go back home. Hey, we need a warm place and stuff like that. So, and maybe during summer, it's also another cultural shock because during summer by 11 p.m. it's still bright. 10 p.m. is still bright. Okay, what's happening? Like 10 p.m. is still bright. And so there are a lot of cultural shock you're going to experience. But I think these are the things you signed for. Trying to leave your country, trying to leave your comfort zone. You should be able to open to most of the things that's happening. But it's actually cold. It's usually cold. So I would advise if you're going to just take care of your health. It's very important. Your health is very important because if you fall sick, it might affect a lot of maybe your work, your schoolwork, your research. Remember, your parents are not there, or your family members, or like friends might not even have friends that might actually be looking out for you. So you are individualistic. So everything you're doing is just you and you alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean. So can you comment on the cost of living?
For the cost of living, cost of living is quite expensive in Germany, but
Wow.
the money covers it. So you don't have anything to worry. So the money, the stipend, it's usually enough. It's something that is enough for you. Like it's not like you would be very comfortable. That's just what I can say about the stipend. You might not really save so much depending on how you are. If you are like a very extravagant person, you might end up not saving, but you're going to be very comfortable. That's what I can say.
Does your German visa allow you to work if you're under some sort of scholarship?
Yes, it allows you to work.
Is it limited to 20 hours as well?
Normally, for scholarship holders, they will tell you not to work. It's a personal decision. You decide to work, it's whatever comes with it, it's at 100 trainings. So if you want to do like a job, sharp person and work, it's a choice. But if you get caught, you can face the consequences. So, but normally they'll tell you. But if you want to work, you can ask them that you want to work. They'll give you like a range. So for example, if you want to work, because they have this mini job of 450 euro basis per month. So they can tell you, okay, yeah, you can work, but you should not exceed 450 euro per month. Because they feel like your priority is not working, your priority is your studies.
Exactly.
That's what they want you to give maximum time and attention to the studies.
That's very true.
But to answer your question, like I said, it allows you to work.
Okay, I'm just really asking because I mean there are a lot of Nigerians at the call. They're probably wondering, oh, how much is the stipend? Maybe I will go to Germany and do some work. Would you say the stipend is high? Like, what's the range?
Yeah, I think for now, during my tenure, we're getting 850 or 875 a month. But now, the last time I spoke with somebody, he said I think 950 now because of the inflation, because of this inflation. Yeah. So to tell you that they actually consider you, they actually know, okay, yeah, things are getting more expensive. So because of the inflation, you get 950 euro every month.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. What would you say the rent range is like? I'm sure that it's probably different for different places, right?
Yeah, it's quite different, but
Berlin is like the big place. It's just like London, right?
where?
But Berlin is supposed to be like the capital, right?
Yeah, Berlin is the capital.
So
So you have Berlin.
The rent should be more expensive in Berlin, right?
Yeah. It's expensive in Berlin. Like there are some places like Berlin, Stuttgart, Munich, Frankfurt. Yeah, these places like the rents are a bit expensive, but it's not beyond what you can afford. Unless I don't know what you're like. We are students, and I believe like anybody going there is a student. So I don't know what you're looking for. you're looking for maybe like 3-bedroom apartments, then you're at your own risk.
Yeah,
You're at
just
your
in
own
case
risk.
someone wants to house his girlfriend, maybe he has other agendas.
Yeah, but
Coming.
I think it's actually the rent. It's not so expensive, and in a situation where your rent it's more than, I think, 40% of your your stipend, you can apply for a subsidy. DAAD give you a subsidy.
Okay.
So yes, just to support you with your rent. So if your rent is like, I think maybe 40%, they actually have a way of calculating it. So if your rent is more, if you feel like your rent is more than what you are earning, you can apply for like a subsidy. So for example, if your rent is up to €300 per month, I think you can apply for a subsidy.
Oh
So you can
wow.
just ask them for a subsidy and they give you subsidy. And also one thing I forgot to talk about DAAD is, I think one good thing about them is if you are married, it's not a limitation. Maybe I didn't say that. If you're a
Okay.
married person, yeah,
Very
it's not a
important.
limitation. Indeed, it actually considers married people. And not just that, when you come, the how do I put it? Okay, yeah, for your spouse, maybe, yeah, for your spouse get paid by DAAD too. And
Oh
yeah,
wow, that's very
yeah,
good.
yeah, your spouse get paid for a DAAD scholarship holder, and also your kids. And also now they know that, okay, yeah, you are a family person. They don't expect you to live maybe in a one room. They expect that, okay, maybe if you have kids, you should live like maybe in a 2-room apartment. So they actually put that into consideration. So when you apply for a subsidy, they give you, they know that, okay, hey, you're a family person, you need your family to come. And also I think sometimes they assist your spouse in getting a visa. I
Oh
think so. Yeah.
wow,
So
wow.
I don't think I've ever had anybody that their spouse got, like any DAAD applicant, DAAD scholarship holder, sorry, that their spouse got rejected, like their visa got rejected or denied. No, I don't think I've ever heard of that. So it's actually a plus for married people. So you don't need to worry about, hey, maybe how would I cater for my family? I think they are there to support you.
Okay. Ah, if I had known, maybe I would have gotten married and went for DAD. If I had known, but yeah, that's very good news.
Yeah.
So the final question, because I know that you probably have a lot to do and we really don't want to keep you, right? So the final
Okay.
question from my end is, now that there are some undergraduates on the call as well, probably aspiring to eventually apply for the DAAD scholarship by the time they're done with school. So can the person go ahead and apply? Like assuming the person is meant to graduate, say say after the period that the scholarship has ended, and that's even true. What's the timeline for the scholarship? Which month is the deadline? So what if the person is going to graduate after the deadline? Can they go ahead and apply pending their collection of their degree certificate, or do they have to wait until they've gotten their degree certificate?
I, I wouldn't say, but the thing is, DAAD require that you have a 2 years work experience, postgraduate, postgraduate work experience. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So it's more like you should be a graduate before you can apply for a DAAD. It's not like you don't apply for it, maybe you're still an undergraduate. I don't think so. I've never had somebody that maybe you're still an undergraduate, you apply, but like I said, I always like to try. For example, when I applied, I didn't have up to 2 years experience. I was 7. I was in my NYC when I applied. And I was opportune. I got mine. Even without the 2 years, but it wasn't up to 2 years.
Okay.
So sometimes there are some exceptions. Like I said, sometimes there are some, maybe it depends on the way you go about your application. These are the things you just have to put into consideration. But most times, I I don't think somebody still in school can apply, because another thing, they need your transcript. So you need to get a complete transcript of your undergraduate of your undergraduate. So, and if you're still in school, I don't think you can, like your transcript is not complete. So,
Very true.
yeah, so I would advise you just wait. Then when you are done, you can apply. And the first question you asked, the period. So most of the application, though it differs, but most of the application deadline is between October and December. Just few ones, few of them extended to March. So that's yeah, most of them end in October, 1st of October, most of them. But like I said, when you go to the brochure, they don't have a standard deadline. It depends on the university. So each university have their own deadline. Each university have their own deadline.
Oh, I
So
see. I see.
yes,
So
yeah,
the Commonwealth shared scholarship with universities with different deadlines.
exactly.
Okay, okay, that
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense. So are there any, apart from the motivation letter you talked about, are there other essays maybe you have to write for the
No,
scholarship?
no.
Okay, okay, that's very useful information. I think someone dropped a question on the chat. She says, does how many recommendation letters does she need? And can they be from just employers, or does it have to be an employer and a professor?
Yes, it should be an employer and a professor because this is you're going for an academic program. So you need
Okay,
a professor, like it mustn't be a professor, it can be like a doctor. So, but maybe your HOD, a professor in your school. So it's advisable to get maybe from your academic supervisor, to get an academic reference. Whenever you're going for whenever you're applying for any academic position. So it's advisable to go with at least one academic referee. It's very important because sometimes they contact this academic referee to know maybe your research, what you're capable of doing and something. But you can actually add from your employer. But if I'm to choose, I will go with maybe one academic and maybe one employer. That was how I did mine. So yeah, I got from my HOD and I also got from my employer where I was doing my NYSC.
okay, okay. I think that's very useful. So I think that this sort of sums up all the different questions that we have so far concerning the DAAD scholarship as well as the PhD. And I'm really so grateful on behalf of the S1 community. We say a big thank you to you for making out the time to speak to us today. And we hope that when these people start applying and they start asking questions around maybe the format and templates for code emails, that we can still reach out to you to get more information around that. But thank you
Yeah,
so much. Thank you so much. I hope Canada is as cold as Germany.
Canada is actually colder than Germany. so, this but now it's not so cold. I think we are doing fine for now. We're hoping for the winter.
Oh, you're hoping for it. I thought you said it's depressing.
Yeah, the weather is depressing, but we're already used to it. So sometimes you get used to it. So if you're an extrovert in Nigeria, you will become an introvert.
Because
Yeah.
nobody goes anywhere during winter, is it?
Yeah, you don't even want to go out, even you don't even want to go out because it's so cold. Where are you going to? Like, you don't even want to go out. That's just the point. It's not as if there are no places to go to. So you don't want to go out.
Okay, but that's all right. Thank you so
Yeah.
much once again, and do have enjoy the rest of your day. It's night for some of us after 9.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
think somebody asked something. Sorry, somebody said the reference letter should be addressed to who? You can address to whom it may concern. It's fine. But if you want to, unless you want to address it direct to the school, still okay. If you want to address it to the school, you can address it to the school coordinator.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. And how many schools can you apply to? Just real quick. Sorry. How many schools?
3, maximum of 3.
Okay.
Yes, it's in the application, in DAAD application. Either 3 or I think 3. Yeah, I'm sure it's 3. Yeah. You can apply to 3 universities.
Okay. Well, guys, you've heard it from the horse's mouth. It's a maximum of 3. And I recorded the video, so I'm going to upload it to our FON YouTube channel so that whoever was not able to attend can still watch the video and just like get to hear directly from you the different things that you've talked about, including the people from your network, because I saw them on Facebook. They were very excited when you shared it and said you were going to be speaking Sunday. Yeah, thank you so much once again, and do have an amazing day.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
All right, bye.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So guys, I'm going to